Okay, I think this is going to have to be everyone. Nice to see you all. Aloha Friday. Welcome. My name's Ariel. Obviously, you know that. We're in Waimanalo, Oahu, Hawaii. And if you just joined, I gave a little bit of a spiel about what we're doing today. Basically, we're going to do a 45-minute practice together. The first 10 minutes are a movement meditation routine that is going to help us get into our breath. And then it's going to continue to build upon itself to create this energetic practice of grounding and confidence. And that was inspired by what I needed to cultivate here for my mom, who's been staying with me in Hawaii for the last 2 months. And then we'll go into like a half an hour, just everyday stretches, things that will help your body feel good and strong and safe. And then we'll end in a shavasana. And if you want to roll into a meditation after that, you'll probably be primed and ready. That's usually what we do. So if you want to practice to music, I dropped the playlist in the chat box. So we'll do it together. You can press play in 3, 2, 1. Come onto your feet. Now, first we'll stand with our feet about hips width apart, but let it be comfortable. Relax your palms down, let them face out. Loop your shoulders back and just exhale. Good. Now on your next breath in, swoop your arms wide to the sides and reach up as you look up. See your hands connect. Exhale, circle your palms back down, turn your hands inwards, touch your legs, chin to chest. All right, now 10 of these, so 9 more to go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms wide all the way down by your sides, chin to chest. Just imagine as your arms go wide and you reach up, your rib cage expands so you can fill up with more breath. And as the hands press out and down, the rib cage retracts to press out the breath. Awesome. Do it again. Pressing down with your tippy toes, reach up through your fingertips. Exhale, slow, slow, slow. Awesome. Breathe in, reach, reach, reach. Exhale. We're setting the rhythm of our practice today by setting the tempo of our breath. Inhale, reach up. And I also hope this tempo lasts through the rest of your day. These long and slow, sustained breaths. 5 more to go. Inhale. Exhale. That way, if you ever encounter an anxious moment, you can notice if the breathing starts to shorten and come back to this rhythm. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release. Last 3. Inhale. Exhale. Like you're flying your wings. Inhale for 2. Exhale. So easy, right? Just breathe because it feels good. Last one in this pattern. Breathe out. And at the end of your out breath, step your feet a little bit wider. Turn your toes open, that second position. Now inhale, bring your arms back up overhead. As you exhale, bend your knees, goddess pose, horse stance, and then press your hands through the middle channel like you're pushing straight down through the floor. Inhale, lengthen your legs, circle your palms wide, reach overhead, see your fingertips connect. Exhale, stack one hand on top of the other, bend your knees, press out the breath. That was 2. 8 more to go. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend your knees as deeply as you feel comfortable with. Inhale, straighten your legs and see if you can lock them out just a little bit at the very top of your breath. Nice, awesome. Exhale, bend your knees, press your hands through the midline. Slow and steady. Inhale, reach. Connecting movement with breath. Exhale, press. 5 more, just like that. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, feel your tailbone pointing down towards the ground. A little lift in the front of your waistband. Beautiful. 4 more rounds. Take in the whole room and ground down. Inhale, pressing through your tippy toes, reach up. Exhale, stack the hands, press it down. Inhale, 4 more rounds, and then see if you can switch the stack of the hand that's on top. So bringing a little bit more mindfulness into your routine. Remember which hand you just had on top and switch it up. Last 3. Inhale, reach up. Other hand on top, 2. Last one in this direction. So like a plunger, push straight down and then reverse it like a spring. Bounce back up, hands come through the middle, over your head, lengthen through your legs. And then open your arms, bend your knees, lengthen the tail towards the ground as you sink down. Good. Then breathe in. You can stack one hand on top of the other, one hand lifting the other. This is 2. Exhale. Now counting the rounds is part of the mindfulness piece. So if you want to count in your head with me, this is 3. Inhale, reach. Keeping track of what number you're on. Knowing what we are doing. Number 4. Exhale. And if the legs get tired, just do a more shallow bend in the knees and the hips. Inhale. 5. Now, if you ever lose track and you're practicing this on your own, start from the beginning again. That's how you know. 6. Breathe in. 7. I know a lot of you are doing a lot more sitting lately. So this is also to help open up the hips. 8. Just warm them up, heat them up. 9. Exhale. Okay, this is 10, the last one of this pattern. Now we're gonna add one more thing. So bend the knees, come all the way up. And now you're gonna lean to your right, bend your right knee like you're doing that goddess pose with one leg, and the right hand is like a hook, like you're carving out the inside of an egg, and then both knees bend as you come to center, rooting into the pelvis. Inhale, come all the way up, hands overhead. And then we're gonna switch. So now the left hand is like a hook, you bend the left knee, and then your both knees bend as you come to center. Inhale all the way up overhead. That was 1 to the right, exhale. All the way up, inhale. To the left, like a scoop, like you're carving out this protective boundary. Inhale, rise, that was 2. Exhale to the right. Smooth transition from out breath to in. To the left. Inhale all the way up overhead. To the right. Inhale, rise. To the left. All the way up over your head. This is our 5th one, to the right. Sometimes I imagine I'm carving out an avocado, if that helps. Scoop out all the avocado on this left side. And then lift the pit all the way up over the head. And then scoop it all out. Don't miss any of that goodness. This is 6. But if you can imagine energetically inside this little bubble you're creating, everything is delicious, safe, healthy, tasty, just like that avocado. But everything outside, you don't need to worry about it. It's all the way over there. That's right. And then come back through the center. Breathe in. To the right, breathe out. This is 7. Left. Inhale through the center. Nice. To the right. 8. Exhale. Breathe in. Nice. To the left. Breathe out. Awesome. Come back through center. Try to keep your chest over your hips, like as you would in Warrior Two, stacking the ribs. Nice. 8. Left. Inhale through the center, overhead. 9. I know it's a lot, but sometimes the mind needs the repetition to slow down enough to arrive in this present. On the left, scoop it out. Last one in this pattern. To the right, breathe out. Punch it out at the very bottom of the out breath, and then inhale all the way up. And then to the left. Okay, new pattern. Come up to the chest, roll your shoulders back, and then press your hands forward towards the camera. Bend your knees like goddess pose, sink your hips so you're pushing towards me. And then bring your arms over your head, lengthen through your legs, turn on your kneecaps, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then to the right, you scoop out that avocado. Come back to center, inhale. To the chest, like the diaphragm lifting up, and then exhale, press, creating your boundaries, your safe space. Inhale, rise, arms overhead, lengthen your legs. Now the left hand turns into a hook, bend the left knee. Both knees end up bending, so you come back to center. And then inhale, lifting through the diaphragm, roll your shoulders back, proud chest. Exhale, press your palms forward. Inhale, reach your palms up, lengthen through the legs. Reach to your right, scoop it out. This grounding in the feet pulls all the way up from the pelvis to the diaphragm. And then exhale, you press forward. Inhale, rise up with the arms. Bend your left knee, scoop through the left side. Beautiful, that was 2. Inhale, loop your shoulders back, hands towards the rib cage. Exhale, push, like you're creating boundaries, pushing all the bad vibes away. Inhale, stand tall in your truth. Squeeze through your knees. Into the right, reach, reach, reach. Good, back to center. Inhale through the diaphragm, shoulders back. Exhale, push out the breath. Inhale, rise up, lengthen your legs. To the left. Inhale through the chest, shoulders back. Exhale, push your hands towards me, bend your knees. Inhale to reach. To the right, round 3. Inhale through the heart. Exhale, push the bad vibes away. In your protective bubble, in your space, rise up, reach up, lifting the veil of illusion. Exhale, left. Inhale through the chest. Now remembering the right and the left is another piece of our mindfulness practice here. Knowing that we just went to the left, we're going to go to the right. Round 4. Inhale. Exhale. Rise up, reach up, stand tall. To the left. Exhale, 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 center. Nice, lift the chest. Exhale, push. Reach overhead. Scoop to the right, 5. Inhale, shoulders back, lift your heart. Exhale, push your hands towards the camera. Inhale, reach overhead, lengthen through your legs. Now to the left. The slower the breath, the slower the motions. Inhale, lift the diaphragm. Exhale, find your boundaries, push up way. Inhale, reach overhead. To the right, exhale, scoop. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. This is number 6. Inhale, reach overhead. To the left. Inhale to the diaphragm. Exhale, press out towards me. Stand strong in your legs, reach, reach, reach. To the right, like a scoop. This is 7. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, extend your energy in all directions. To the left, exhale. Breathe and gather the energy from the earth. Pull it into your heart. Exhale, express it out there into the world. Reach up overhead. Taking up space to the right, exhale. 7. Exhale, pushing out towards me. Inhale, reach to the left. Inhale, chest. Stay with me, just 3 more to go. Inhale, rise up. Nice and slow to the right. Inhale. Really press out the breath at the very end. Bend your knees, punch it out. Good. Inhale, breathe. To the left, exhale, 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 exhale. Bending both knees back in the middle. Good. Inhale, lift through the diaphragm, lift that power. Exhale, exude that power outward and upwards. Exude it to the right, reach. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, press out. Overhead, inhale. To the left. Last 2 rounds, breathe into the chest. Push your hands out, bend your knees a lot, ground down. And from that root, rise, reach for the sky, strong in your legs. Exhale to the right, ribs stay stacked over hips. How low can you get? Inhale to the chest. Exhale, push. Reach overhead and scoop to the left. This is our last round. We'll go right and left. Exhale, get deeper down perhaps. Strong legs, long spine. Scoop to the right. Good, take your time, last cycle. Inhale, reach overhead. And then to the left. Good. This time, do that lift to the diaphragm. Do that press towards me. This time, as you reach your arms up overhead, turn your toes forward. And then take your hands to your hips. We like to add this power stance in our day. Shoulders back, lift your heart with courage, but draw your chin in with humility. And just stand on your own 2 feet. After all of that movement, be still and breathe. Still enough to arrive on this beautiful Friday, Friday the 13th, knowing where you are in life, all that has happened to lead to this moment. Arrive with pride, with confidence. You belong. You are enough. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Take a few more breaths here. My mom and I call this the Penny stance. Penny is my niece. She was Wonder Woman for Halloween a few years ago. But to look back at a 7-year-old for inspiration, for confidence, I think that tells us something. We had it back then. Where does it go? Bring it back. Exhale. Awesome. Now we'll just take the arms up overhead. Go ahead and swoop your arms wide, reach overhead. And then we'll swan dive. Feel free to bend your knees a lot. Exhale as you fold forward. You could grab opposite elbows. We'll hang out here for about 5 breaths. After all of those goddess postures, all the times you bent your knees, just let your hamstrings release. Relax the weight of your head. If it feels good to sway your torso side to side or bend one knee at a time. All right, now meet me on your hands and knees. When you get to tabletop, Look for your fingers spread wide, your wrists beneath your shoulders, your knees beneath your hips, and you could choose to tuck or untuck your toes, totally up to you. On your next breath in, cow pose. Inhale, lift your chin, sway your chest, open that big, beautiful heart. Exhale, round your spine, push the floor down and forward. Really press, 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 press. Good. 4 more times. Close your eyes and just feel your shoulder blades kiss together on your back as you look up. Exhale, feel your shoulder blades protract as you push the floor down. Breathing in, widen through your sitting bones, lift through your tail a little bit more. If you want to add a spiral in your head or your ribs or your hips, go for it. With all that confidence to be yourself, do what feels best. Exhale. Last round. Breathe in, cow. Breathe out, cat. Now, if your eyes are closed, open them up to see your knees connect. And then watch as your right toes extend back behind you in a 3-limbed tabletop. And as you look back at your right toes, those of you who've practiced with me for a while, you know what we're looking for. Spin that right pinky toenail to look at the floor. Find that internal rotation like you're pigeon-toed. Lengthen your tailbone, and then lock out your right leg. It's not weight bearing, so you can squeeze that knee, turn on the glute, hug the low ribs in, push the ground away, and then just gaze towards the top edge of your mat. Lengthen through the neck, take a breath. Find that exhale in the abdomen. Cool. Now breathe in. Pulse, right knee to nose, breathe out. Inhale, re-extend through your tippy toes. Find that internal rotation, reach to the crown. Exhale, curl in, knee to the nose, or get close. 3 more times. Inhale, kick. Exhale, curl. Inhale, kick. Exhale, curl. Last time to kick back. Breathe in, strong hamstring, strong spine. This time, knee towards the nose, and then step forward with your foot between your thumbs. If you have blocks that you're working with at home, you could grab them now. Just find those columns of your arms and that front shin vertically stacked. You can scoot your back knee farther down your mat until you feel a stretch in your left hip crease. And then check out your right toes. Spread them wide. Look for the mat between each one of your toes. Try to grip into the ground with your foot and pull the floor back. With your stable legs, walk your hands up onto your right thigh, your right kneecap. And then find that proud chest again. Shoulders back, lift your heart. Find those bottom ribs, knit them back in. And then as you lengthen your tailbone towards the floor, you'll find a deeper stretch in that left hip crease. Stay here or bring your arms up overhead like you just finished the race in first place. Victory. More of that posturing. Open your heart. Fill it with breath. One more big inhale. Awesome. Exhale, take your hands down, grab the blocks if you're using them, and we'll move into half splits. So walk your hands back, shift your hips back. Find the vertical stack of your left hip over your left knee. And then as you check out your right toes, you're going to push forward with the ball mound, spread out all 5 toes. Gaze down at your right knee. Watch it slide up your thigh as you turn on your quadricep. Now add a little bit of a bend, like you're pawing at your mat. Little bend in the kneecap. Okay, then pretend you're doing cow pose, broadening through the sitting bones, lifting through the tail. Lead with your heart, shoulders gather on the back. Fold in, 3 more. Beautiful. Now all we're gonna do is add an external rotation of this right leg. So you're gonna try to turn your right toes open towards the right and try to touch your pinky toe towards the floor. So you feel a stretch in the outer right thigh, the outer right hip. Same thing with the foot, curling the toes back, clip into the mat, try to pull the floor back. It's really that right hip crease that's pulling back. Breathe. Awesome. Now we're going to keep our left hand on the floor for modified side plank. So if you have a block, go ahead and move it aside. Your left hand stays down, your left knee stays down, that right foot is going to slide all the way to the back of your mat, right hand to the hip. And then just take a moment to stack your bones, wrist beneath shoulder, knee beneath hip, and then absorb the muscles to the bones. Shoulders squeeze to the midline, ribs hug in, turn on the muscles of your straight right leg. And then when you're ready, reach your right arm over to the sky or overhead if you like. You can look up, that feels okay on your neck. And maybe even lift that right foot off the mat. 5 more breaths. Now do all the same things you did when we were in 3-limbed tabletop. Squeeze through the right knee, press through the tippy toes, use all the muscles of the right leg to help it float. Now, if you have your right arm over your ear, just reach it up for the ceiling so you get long from wrist to wrist on this next breath in. Then we're going to thread the needle. So on your breath out, bring your right knee to the ground next to the left knee, swing your right arm underneath your left arm, and then take the right side of your head down onto the ground. Now you can walk the left hand forward, or you can wrap your left arm across your low back. Just try to soften the muscles of your shoulders. After all of those arm movements we did in our movement meditation, they're warm, they're ready to stretch. Feel your knees pierce into the ground and imagine your hips shifting to the right, just an inch. Rooting into the back of your right hand, push down into the ground. 1 more round. I'll meet you in tabletop when you're ready, both hands on the mat. And then reset your spine with a cow pose. On your breath in, lift your chin. Cat pose on the breath out, press and round. Awesome. Shoulders back, ribs in, bring your knees together. Other side. Lengthen your left leg back behind you and take a few breaths to refine. You can look back at your toes, look under your torso. See your toes turning inwards, pointing downwards towards the ground. Feel your knees squeeze, your glute is active. Hug your lower ribs in, push down, puff up the upper back. Little micro bend in the elbows like you're pulling the floor back. And then gazing towards the top edge of your mat. Awesome, take a nice long breath in. Stay for the exhale, find that tone in the abdomen. Now breathe in. Curl in, exhale, left knee to the nose or get close. Inhale, press back through your tippy toes. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, re-extend, strengthen your hamstring, your back body. Exhale, curl in, strong core. 2 more, breathe in. Breathe out. Last one to kick back, inhale. Good, this time the knee comes towards the nose and then you step forward between your thumbs. We'll keep the hands down for a few breaths just to organize the bones. Find the stack, knee over ankle, spread out your toes. Choose what you want to do with your back foot. And only when you feel stable in the legs, you're gripping into the earth, pulling the floor back with that front heel, then you can take the hands up onto the thigh. Scoop your shoulders back. And then try to lift the front of your hip bones so you don't compress this left hip crease. When you're ready, victory, arms rise, take them wide like a high V. And let it extend from your heart all the way up through your fingertips. You are a winner. Breathe. 2 more. Good. Exhale, take your hands to the floor or the blocks, and then we'll shift our hips back for half splits. Now, we want to keep the hips lifted on top of the right knee, so don't sit back on the heel. You'll gain a little more stretch with the hips lifted. And then same thing, press out with the ball mound of your left foot, curl the toes back. Watch your left kneecap slide up your thigh, turn on the quadricep. And then with the quad still on, add a little micro bend. Flare through your sitting bones like you do in cow pose. And think about your heart folding forward more than your nose. That way you can keep your shoulder blades gathered on your back, like you're pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades. Long through the neck, chin in just a little bit. Okay, from here we'll add that external rotation. So you're just gonna pivot your toes open towards 9 o'clock. And imagine you could move the floor down and back with that outer edge of your foot. Your pelvis is gonna twist a little bit. So your belly button can look over to the left. Really, it's about that left hip crease pulling back towards your right heel. And if you're ever feeling any pulling in your knee, add a little micro bend. Now remember the rhythm of the breath we started our movement meditation with. Notice if your breath is stalled, can you bring it back? Yeah. From here, we'll set up for the modified side plank. So if you have a block you're working with, go ahead and move it away. Right hand stays down, right knee stays down, and your left foot's gonna travel to the back edge of your mat. Now, at first, it could help to look down at your right hand, see the fingers spread wide, ground into that index finger knuckle, keep a little micro bend in your elbow. But then when you're feeling steady, you can look up and then you could reach up. Try to find that imaginary pencil to hold between your shoulder blades. Hug the bottom ribs in, lengthen through your tail, and then option here to lift your left foot. And if you did the extension of the arm over your head, match it here for 5 breaths. Nice. Now, what is that lifted leg doing? Can you feel the quad engage, the glute fire, pressing out through the tippy toes? That internal rotation so the pinky toe is parallel to the sky. Good. If you have your arm over your ear, we're going to lift it straight up to the ceiling on the next breath in. And then thread the needle. Exhale, left knee touches down, left hand swings underneath the right arm, right armpit, and then take the left side of the head down to the mat. Stay like that or walk your right hand forward. Feel your knees digging down, shift your hips to the left just an inch or two. Breathe into that space between your shoulder blades, the rhomboids. 2 more breaths. Awesome. Meet me back in the tabletop. Take your time to get there. We'll do another round of the cow and cat to reset. Use your breath in to gaze forward. Use your breath out to round down. Now you could choose to move into a child's pose or a downward facing dog. So if your wrists are feeling tender, you could do a child's pose. If you feel like, oh, I just need to straighten both of my knees, meet me in the dog pose. Embody that same sense of belonging, of confidence. As you look at your legs in down dog, they look parallel to you. You can have a little bend in your knees. That same flaring of the sitting bones lifting through the tail. And that victory feeling from the heart into the hands. Push, reach, and breathe. If you're in the child's pose, you're welcome to join us here in the dog, or can do what we're about to do in a tabletop. When you're ready, watch your right toes rise into 3-legged dog. So similar thing we did, but a little more intense. Now that you have your knee lifted off the floor, if you have your knee lifted off the floor, try to turn on the quad, relax that left calf. Same thing with the right leg though, the toes turn in. Take another breath. And elevate the left heel, inhale. Exhale, bring the right knee to the right elbow. Shoulders over wrists. Inhale, kick back, 3-legged dog or 3-legged tabletop. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the nose, shoulders over wrists. Breathe in as you lengthen through your tippy toes, press it back, back, back. Exhale, right knee kisses the left elbow. One more, big kick, nice and high. And then set up for pigeon pose. Bring your knee towards your right wrist and swing your toes over towards your left wrist. Scooch your back toes farther down your mat, but try to keep the top of your foot on the floor, that pinky toenail spiraling down. And I invite you to stay lifted just for a moment, or you can stay lifted the whole time, but for a moment, drive that left hip forward, hug the right hip back, open the chest. And then take your time to lower down if you like. We'll take 10 breaths. Now, in the beginning, we were practicing counting our routine. Here, you're going to practice counting your breaths. In your mind, it'll sound like inhale as you're inhaling, exhale as you're exhaling, followed by the number 10. Try not to rush it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Good. That should have been about 10 breaths. When you've reached your 10th breath, make your way back up. Options, you could take three-legged dog into wild thing, or come back into a three-legged tabletop with open hips. If you want to do the wild thing, you'll keep the weight on the left hand and you'll spiral your right toes all the way around. Just open up that left shoulder, breathe. Good. We'll meet back in the dog pose. Take your time to work your way around. Slowly equalize the weight in all 4 paws. You can be in down dog or the tabletop. We'll work our way to the other side. Big toes together, and then the left leg lifts. Turn the toes in. Stay here for a breath or two. Just relax the right calf. Turn on the muscles of the left leg. One more breath. Now elevate the right heel on your next breath in. Bring the left knee to the left elbow. Exhale. Inhale, re-extend through your tippy toes. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, kick back. Left knee, right elbow touch. Re-extend, toes to sky, nice and high. Pigeon pose. This time, knee towards the left wrist, toes towards the right. Scoot your back knee farther back. Try to get the top of the back foot on the floor, the toenail of the pinky toe. If you can find the floint in the front foot, just roll your shoulders back. Stay up high for a breath. And then walk your hands out, soften down. Here's where you start to count. 10 breaths. And this practice of counting your breaths is something you could do if you are having trouble sleeping, or if your mind is running during meditation. Breathe like it's your job, like it's the most important thing. If you ever lose track of what number you're on, you can always start from the beginning. That's a good indicator that the mind is running. So let's say 5 more to go. Inhale. Exhale. 5. 4. Last breath. And then going slow, we'll take the hands up under the shoulders. The slower, the better. Tuck your right toes or keep your right knee on the ground as you open through your left thigh, open through your hips. And stay like this or transfer all the weight into your right hip. Slowly, with control, spiral your left toes around to the ground for wild thing. Exuding the confidence, the energy from your heart center out through your fingertips. Reach. Good. And making your way back around. Downward facing dog. Breathe out. Awesome. Now make your way. You can lower your knees to the floor or jump through to a seat. Once your seat lands on the floor, we'll just scooch the hips towards the middle of the mat. And keep the hands behind you for now. Lean back. We'll move our way into boat pose, but first squeeze your shoulder blades together. Bring your big toes to touch. Take a breath in. Find that exhale in your abdomen. Okay, and then lift your feet up. Stay there or lift your hands up, reach them forward. This last bit of energy, maybe you lengthen through your legs, pressing through your tippy toes, or reach overhead. 5, 4, shaking's okay. Breathe through it. 3, 2, 1. Good, holding onto the back of your thighs, take a breath in, and then slowly lay your spine down on the ground. Keep your knees drawn in, and just rock around for a little bit. Massage your back into the mat. Soften your eyes if you like. Good. Then keep the right knee in your arms as you stretch through your left leg. We'll set up for a twist. Draw your right knee across your chest over through the left. Scoot your left hip under your right hip. And then spin your right arm open, look to the right. Very nice. Coming back to center, keep the right knee in your arms and then bring the left knee in to meet it. And then free the right leg, stretch it out. Set up for your twist. Left knee goes to the right. Right hip, scooch under left. And then open your left hand to the side, look to the left. Breathe out. Come back to center. Both knees draw in again. Slow, happy baby. Take your time to get there. Hold on to your inner feet or your inner thighs. You can rock side to side or straighten one leg at a time. Root down with the back of your head. Loop your shoulders back. Take another breath. And then draw your knees together again. Wrap your arms around your shins. Lift your head off the floor. Tuck your nose between your knees. Scrunch up your face. Fire up your biceps. Flex through your feet. Get really tight and compact. Breathe in. And then exhale the exact opposite of that. Lengthen through your legs. Relax your palms facing up. Let your head land on the ground and then loop your shoulders back and down. Shavasana. Now we'll take 3 breaths to settle in. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale out. 2 more of those. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Last one, breathe in. Relax your jaw, let it go. Breathing naturally now. Relax your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Soften your eyes downward in their sockets. Notice where you end and the floor begins. This place where you belong, this place where you came from. Let two become one. Softly begin to deepen your breaths. Breathing in a way that feels good. Letting that oxygen just nourish your body, your mind, and eventually let it wake up your toes and fingers on your own time. Let those movements grow into wrist circles or ankle circles. You can tilt your chin side to side. But when you reach your arms long overhead, imagine it's the first time you're waking up all over again. Reach. When you roll to one side, rest there for a few breaths. Notice if any old habits, any old urgency, any old expectations are following you. Just see if you can wait half a beat, leave it behind. And when you're ready, take your time to rise. You can make your way into a seat. Drawing hands together, bow inwards, and just give yourself some credit here for a second. Acknowledge yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. You did it. You showed up today. You rolled out your mat. Your movement meditation, connected body and breath, and set this rhythm for the rest of your day. Acknowledge yourself for that. And we'll draw the hands up to the third eye, this point of intuition. And then connect, bow into the earth, folding forward. And this is where I like to say my thank yous to everything that makes me me, including you. Thank you for showing up today, including Father Sky and Mother Earth, including my friends and my frenemies, everyone that makes you who you are. Just rattle them off. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wouldn't be me without you. And then slowly, only when you're ready, we'll rise back up and say namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a real treat to guide you through this practice that I've been doing for the last 10 weeks. So I hope that one day, or maybe lots of days, I could just be on a walk, pop into Zoom, and have you with me at the beach or in the forest, and we could do this movement meditation together. And that first chunk, those 10 minutes of just the movement and breathing, if you only have 10 minutes in your day and you do that, that's what we do sometimes too. So I recommend it. And you could always do the yoga every other day, or all the postures to stretch your back and your hamstrings. But next week, I'll be back here again, Friday, 9:30 your time, Cali time. We'll do something different. But maybe throughout the week, I'll pop in and we can connect on this practice, this routine. But if you want to say, hey, you're welcome to unmute yourself. If you feel like grounded, like I mentioned, this might be a good time to do your meditation. You could just skip away and shut down your computer and do that. But I love you all. And I thank you so much for joining me today. And I miss you.
Thank you, Ariel. It's great to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Oh, yay, Katie.
Is Michelle here?